All right, welcome everybody to our latest Live Motocross podcast. As I'm joined by former star racer Jackson Richardson, who keeps bringing the heat of late with the banter on the socials as we chat all things Arlington and preview Daytona. Obviously, before we get cracking, we'd like to thank everyone for listening and supporting the site. We really appreciate it. We'd also like to thank our partners in Fly Racing, 24MX Dirt Store, and Fuchs Silkaleen, as without them, none of this would be possible. All right, welcome, Jats. How's life? And thanks for joining us, mate. You've been absolutely pinned at the job there for sure on the tools. They're keeping you busy.
Oh yeah, we've been wedged at the moment. Yeah, ended up I've been that wedged. I missed the pod last week, and yeah, she's been brutal. It's been hot. I've been putting in the long days, but yeah, other than that, I can't complain too much. I mean, it sounds like I complain a bit, but at the end, it's not really too bad. I'm just loving it.
Yeah, mate, you just have some of those weeks get pretty gnarly, and last one definitely was that for you, mate. But yeah, what did you make of the racing? It's all sort of happening as we wedge into Daytona there. But yeah, Arlington, there was a lot happening again there, mate. A lot going on in the series. It's just blokes getting injured, whoops are crazy, tracks are giving people plenty to talk about. But yeah, the Triple Crown's the chaos, isn't it, mate? The riders, mechanics, the teams maybe don't like them, but the chaos is there for the fans and the broadcasters. They love it all, the spectacle, and also with that military appreciation round, that always adds a nice touch to it as well, mate. So there was definitely a lot happening in Arlington, wasn't there? What was your sort of key takeaways?
Oh man, Arlington was absolutely unreal. Yeah, the Triple Crown. It provided the goods on the weekend, eh? Like pretty much every single race was an absolute bang. The 3 450 races especially, they were just absolute heaters, yeah. So yeah, there was excitement all over the joint, like from practice to when the racing happened, and yeah, it was pretty wild the way things ended up on the weekend. Yeah. So yeah, like Arlington, man, it was crazy. Like I was on the edge of my seat the whole day, really. Like watching all these races. I mean, Degan coming from like mid pack, like in 2 races, coming back to win them. Cole Davies got a win, which was sick. But yeah, the 450s, just seeing Sexton pretty much. He had basically 2 races in hand, crashed in both of them, and then what looks like he's going to end up with the overall, come out with the points lead. Webb just does what Webb does, gets through the chaos, ends up with a 5 point lead at the end of it. So yeah, absolutely insane.
Yeah, mate, it's crazy, isn't it? I just quickly, we usually do like a recap, and you've obviously raced in Texas, in Dallas, and Houston. So, just your thoughts
Yeah.
on racing there, that state, mate. They get right into it, don't they?
Oh yeah. I actually raced at that one at AT&T Stadium. It was called. I forget who had the name. I think it was just called Cowboy Stadium when I raced there. This was like I went there in 2013, and let me tell you, that stadium is absolutely insane. Like, I think actually, yeah, the day before it, me and my old man went in there, and we actually did a proper tour of it, like where like they usher us around and like show us everything, and like that stadium is like just absolutely insane. I think it only got built like 2 or 3 years before we went there,
Mm.
so like it was brand new. It was the first stadium that cost over $1 billion to build, and like that big screen they got in there is insane. Like seeing it on TV does not do it justice. Like when you see it in person, holy smokes, is that thing massive? And yeah, like I love being in Texas. Like yeah, the people are awesome. The food is absolutely off the chain there. The Texas barbecue that contributed to me maybe gaining a couple of kilos during the season when we passed through town there. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I love that place.
Oh, that's good, mate. Always like to get your insights, and we'll touch on Daytona later. I believe you've raced there too, mate. Unless you want to talk about it now, because that's always a big statement round on the calendar, isn't it? A lot going on there, usually with the bike week, and the track's always
Yeah.
gnarly. So, your recollections of that one too?
Oh yeah. Well, my recollections of Daytona is man, I had a few brutal runs there, but that place is sick. Like yeah, like you said, with bike week and everything like that, just the atmosphere around it. Like especially like for me, because I grew up in like a motorsports family. Like my dad raced sprint cars and all that stuff back in the day. And he always had like back then videotapes of the NASCAR and all that. And so I seen Daytona like when I was real young, and then I was also a NASCAR fan as well. So to go there, and that's another thing, like TV doesn't do it justice of how big these facilities actually are. And like, yeah, so to be able to go there and do that, and like in Florida also, I love like Florida, one of my favorite places to be in. And yeah, so yeah, but the track itself, that thing gets absolutely chewed out, and that is a absolutely brutal race. So yeah, it's definitely not for the faint-hearted. So yeah, I'm sure all the boys will be in for a rough run this weekend.
Oh, mate, it's going to be awesome. Definitely better than Detroit, that's for sure. That was one of the low lights, wasn't it, for you?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely had a better run there than Detroit, that's for sure. Yeah, both on and off the track.
Oh, it's always good, mate. Great stuff. And obviously, as we go under the race, and now just Cooper Webb, mate. What do you think, mate? The opportunistic sort of warrior. He was there to pick up the pieces again, wasn't he? Using his strength, exploiting the others' weaknesses. And as we sort of had a laugh about the other week, he didn't need the finger gun, did he, mate? He kind of Sexton handed it to him there, didn't he? But, nothing phases Webb. He's just a champion, and he just keeps getting after it, keeps banking the points. He just keeps doing his job, what he wants to do, even he doesn't get a good start. He just keeps it mellow and still gets his 6-1-1 and grabs the win, mate. So, he even admitted there was an
Yeah.
element of fortune in that one. But yeah, it's a tough one for Chase to take, but Webb's just loving it. He's just picking it up all together, isn't he?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, he's just so opportunistic, and God, you give him just the smallest like bit of hope there, and like yeah, he just thrives on it. Yeah, like he just takes it and runs, and yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, especially with like finishing sixth in the first main, like got a bad start and didn't really make his way didn't really make his way through, but then just comes out in the second main and just yeah, and I mean Sexton basically handed him two races, but you got to be there in order to capitalize on it. So yeah, he was there. Like Sexton faltered, and yeah, just finishing with two back-to-back race wins there, and like ends up walking out of there with the overall and the points lead. So yeah, you just can't give him anything. Like the guy is just so lethal when he's in the hunt, and yeah, it's going to be tough now, especially like he's getting more and more. Looks to me like he's getting more comfortable and quicker, and yeah, now he's got the points lead, and it's like if it's one guy you don't want to have the points lead at this point of the year, it's Cooper Webb, because like it's rare that he makes like a critical mistake. And yeah, it's going to be hard to wrestle the red plate back off him, that's for sure.
Yeah, you could see Chase sitting there on the side of the track afterwards. He was just absolutely devastated. So hopefully he can bounce back from that one. There's been a few that he's had to sort of come back from this year, a few situations where he's, just lost points really badly, just through a little mistake or an error. So he'll be frustrated, ready to come out swinging in Daytona for sure as well, mate. And I guess, how would you approach that? Because obviously you saw at Glendale, he obviously was happy to accept not winning one of the mains, but he won the overall. Then you shift forward a few weeks and he wanted to go for it and put the flex on. So it's a strange dynamic of how it's shifting in his head from week to week, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's a bit bizarre, really. Yeah, because yeah, like you said at Glendale, he didn't win a race. He just was consistent, and then was happy to concede the win, and like to get the overall and get the points. But it was very bizarre. Like and then like he stalls it to start off with, which you go, man, how many times can one guy like continually stall it when he's leading? Like it's happened so many times. So I don't know if they got to figure something out there to help with that. But then yeah, just like absolutely just went on a tear, passed everyone again, caught back up to him. And I was just sitting there thinking, like, I was like, I don't know why he's got to really push it. He's got the overall in hand. I don't know if it's just like trying to get like not only the win, but a mental victory over the guy, because obviously it's demoralizing to have the lead on the last lap and lose it. So I don't know if he was just trying to, sort of half stamp his authority there. But I mean, I love the fight. I actually love how he came out in the press conference and said, "Yeah, no, I knew I didn't need the win to get the overall. I just wanted to beat him." So yeah, that just goes to show how competitive he is, and how bad he wants to beat Coop. But is it smart in terms of the championship? Probably not. But it's good to see for us. It keeps the race exciting, that's for sure. But yeah, it's just going to be tough to get it back off him. And I mean, he looked demoralized after that race. Like when you just sit down and like when a guy like Cooper Webb sees that, I mean, he's just like in his element right there. Just seeing a guy down and like know he's got him like mentally defeated. Like, it's going to be tough to overcome it. Like he's got the speed. He's by far the fastest guy in the field right now. So, but yeah, just those mental battles. They're hard to overcome.
Yeah, well said, mate. Great insight. Yeah, you got to give him a lot of respect for going for it, massive respect for having a crack. But yeah, even though he didn't need to, but yeah, he's a racer and he wants to win. So fair play, mate. But yeah, I guess you're looking at the odds. Obviously, we've got the odds back. The odds chat's back, which is always good. Cooper Webb and Chase Sexton at $2.40 each, mate. It's both a bit of value there. Ken Roxon at $5.50 for the win. Then you got Anderson at 11, Justin Cooper 26, and then Plessinger and Barsha 31. And they've pushed Mookie out to 41, mate, after just winning a few weeks ago. So,
man,
they're doing some strange things.
Oh, hang on. Wait. I've just checked it again. And Cooper Webb's now at $1.95. Or is this for the hang on, that might be for the championship. Oh, yeah, I had it wrong. But, yeah. Yeah. Far out. Mookie at $41. That's just the disrespect level of him in the odds. In the sports books, man, they must have something against him. It's crazy, yeah. But yeah, like it's going to be interesting this weekend because, usually if Tomac was in the field, usually Tomac was like that's an immortal lock for a Daytona win. But now he's out, Jet and Hunter are out. Yeah. It's going to be interesting, yeah. I would definitely put my money on Coop for that one. Sexton, from memory, hasn't really done particularly well at Daytona. I think he might have got a podium there or something, but Daytona's not really a place where he like really thrives. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I could see Kenny having a good run there with the way he's running at the moment, like because he runs. From what I hear, he runs a pretty soft setup for Supercross, and that can definitely help with like Daytona too, being like it's sort of like a hybrid like type track. So yeah, I could definitely see Ken doing well at this one. But yeah, no, those three definitely are going to be in the mix for the win. But yeah, honestly, who knows? But Tomac being out for that one, that just and Jet being out as well, like that's just opened this race up big time. I don't know what to expect at this one, really. Yeah, it's going to be wild.
Yeah, good insight there, mate. It's pretty much the closest to, I guess, an SMX style of track, isn't it, mate, in the actual Supercross season? So Ken Roxon $1.83 to get on the podium looks pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, that's good value for money there. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and as we sort of look down some of the rest of the odds, I guess there's the matchup bets. Obviously, Plessinger and Cooper both $1.83, so you'd probably get on J Coop for that one, wouldn't you, mate? And obviously Sexton and Webb $1.83 each. That's sort of flip a coin a little bit, that one. And then Anderson is $2.30, Roxon $1.57. Not too bad to put Kenny with a multi-bet in that one, maybe. And then Barsha and Stewart $1.90 for Barsha, $1.76 for Stewart. So pretty hard to call that one, but there's a little bit of stuff to get tucked into there, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, there's definitely a bit to get into on that one for sure. Yeah, I'll be cooking it up tonight, cooking a bit of a multi together and see what we come out with. Because, yeah, Daytona is always pretty unpredictable. I could see a guy like Kenny doing well at this one. Ando's been real hot and cold this season. Like he's had a couple of podiums so far, but yeah, one weekend like he looks like he could contend for a win, and then the next weekend like he could get a start, and then he just seems to drop back. So I don't know what he's got going on there really, but yeah, there's a lot of parity going on for sure. I mean, shoot, Justin Cooper could find his way onto the box this weekend, probably a better motocross rider than a supercross rider, I think is fair to say. And but that being said, he has come alive the last couple of weeks. Like, been in the top 5, damn near had 2 wins. Like, led majority of he almost held Ken Roxon off for the win in the first main event, and then he led for the majority of the second main event. So he's been improving like crazy. So yeah, he'd also be a bit of a wild. He'd be actually a good wild card for a podium bet, in my opinion. I don't know what his odds are for the podium, but I will definitely be getting in on that action, I reckon. Yeah, $4.
It's good.
Shoot, yeah, I think he's actually got the fifth lowest odds for the podium, yeah.
Yeah, definitely one to look at. And I've obviously got to give you props, mate. Obviously for Detroit, you picked Cooper Webb for the win, and then Sexton and Mookie, and you got absolutely robbed in your 250 picks because you had Anstey and then RJ and Hammaker. But that Anstey one was a disaster, that one, mate. The rule book was definitely came to hurt you there.
Actually, well, yeah, because we missed the last one. Yeah, that was an absolute robbery for the ages. And I guess they changed the rule like a year or two ago, but I wasn't privy to it. But I always thought the rule was, if 75% of the race was done, or maybe not 70%, I think it was maybe 90% of the race being done. Yeah, then after that, it's called. But yeah, the way they went about it, it was fucking bizarre. And I heard Ricky and Villapoto talking about it, and they were like completely just going in on AMA over this one because not only that, so there was meant to be one or maybe 2 laps to go. 2 laps to go, we'll call it. And then the race starts, and then they're doing another 4 laps.
Yeah, it was odd.
Yeah, it's so odd. And then what? Yeah, it's definitely hard, from a mental standpoint, if you're Anstey as well. And I'm not saying he put up a good fight too, but I mean, it's easier to be in second in that position and then have the red flag happen, and then you go, all right, I got life. But when you're in first, especially when you got a 7-second lead, like what he had, you're just like, oh yeah, I just got to bring this thing home and all good. And then bop, red flag. And then they were sitting for an extended period of time. And it's hard to get fired back up again, to get going mentally again, because you're half mentally checked out and you're sort of going damn, I had this thing. And then you're thinking God, I'm getting robbed here. I'm just getting absolutely screwed over. And yeah, but then props to Levi as well. I mean, he saw an opportunity. He was able to salvage that, get the win, and a much needed win too after the bad weekend he had in Tampa. And RJ as well. RJ was able to get on the podium, get back in the mix a bit. But yeah, on one end you got to be a bit bummed with that for Anstey, but I'm out. But he's still got a decent points lead. And then not only that, I mean, the way he handled it was I mean, I can tell you, I would have been throwing the helmet. I probably would have loved to put one of the AMA officials just in a rear naked choke after that one. But he handled it like a true professional. Didn't really, just accepted defeat and then move on to the next one. And that's all you can do. And I mean, when you're in the position that he's in terms of speed, it's definitely no time to panic. That's for sure. Like being this early in the season. So no, just move along, put it behind you, and then move on to the next one. But I feel like they got to go back and AMA's got to go back and like redo the rule or something like that, or like at least like handle it a bit better than what they did. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, that was my take on it. But other than that, all good.
No, it's good insight, mate. And like you said, he was in cruise mode, just ready to click off those last couple of laps. So then to go into
Yeah.
sprint mode again, just also knowing you're not going to have your 7 second lead intact is pretty bizarre. And I guess, would you prefer it to just be like a time limit? You know, if there's 2 minutes left, of a race, that's enough. The race is done.
Yeah.
Like something like that,
Yeah.
more sort
Yeah.
of
I think
concrete
so.
would be better, wouldn't it?
The race has to come to a stop when I thought the original rule was like 90% done. Yeah, like 90% of it done, then yeah, that's it. Call it. Because like we've seen races before, like in the outdoors where it's like 75% of it's done. And then like, some races like I don't remember at Colorado, there was a lightning storm that come in at one of them, and then that's it, like call it. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I mean, they definitely did the right thing. They needed to get the guys out there to get McAdoo off the track, especially like being in a bit of a vulnerable position. Like after the whoops, like anyone can get out of control in the whoops. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know. They probably will go in and like have I don't know, have a meeting or something over it, discuss it, and see. But yeah, just the way, or at least very minimum should have been by the time they got back to the finish line, it just should have been white flag straight away. White flag, finish it, that's it. But yeah, who knows? I mean, that's just my opinion anyway.
No, it's good stuff, mate. It's a great sort of talking point. And I guess the confusion was just everyone didn't know what was going on. The broadcasters, the riders, the teams, like it was just all being worked out on the fly. And if you had something like you were saying, a bit more easier to follow and just, concrete at the time would have made things a little bit smoother for everyone. But I'm sure they're working on it, mate. And I guess any more 450 stuff you'd like to touch on? Obviously, Justin Hill qualifying first, pretty impressive, mate. The guy's an absolute machine. He can turn it on when he wants to and when he's comfortable, and he looks like he's really firing this year. He's just riding so well. So good for him, mate, isn't it? He's you probably raced him and seen him ride firsthand, mate. The guy's got some special skills, doesn't he?
Yeah, oh, dude, he is. Yeah, he's definitely one of the most talented riders that I've ever like raced against or seen. Like, yeah, just the way he gets around on a Supercross track is just unreal. Yeah, and it's good to see him have a bit of a resurgence, like with his career. I mean, he took like 1 or 2 years off, came back, and now like I've heard interviews with him where he's talked about like he's been training, like he's like revamped his whole training program. He's changed his diet up and everything like that, and it's just given him a whole new perspective on like his racing and that, and it's good having him in the mix because he's such an awesome personality. Like he's one of the nicest dudes you could ever come across, and yeah, to see that on the weekend and then like just being in the mix in all three main events was just awesome. And yeah, definitely wouldn't shock me if we see him on the podium at some point because he's getting the feel for it. He said he's had a couple of bad rounds, which he said like he's definitely struggled with the tracks and like just couldn't get up to speed like the other guys. But yeah, like what we seen on the weekend, like that was just unreal. Qualifying P1 and then just getting in the mix like with all the factory guys, like all the heavy hitters, and like man, which is like he's done it before, and like it's just awesome. Like it's just awesome to see him back in the mix. Put it that way. It's good having him up there.
Yeah, mate. Obviously, the series is way better for having him in there for sure. And paying $13 for a podium at Daytona, probably not the most Justin Hill Supercrossy track you could wish for, but you never know. On his day, he's definitely capable of lighting any track up. So good luck to him, mate. And obviously, onto the 250s. We can talk about Degan, but I think we got to start with Moserman, mate. Your mate, you know him well. We've been saying he's had the speed, but he's been coming back through the pack with crashes and bad starts. But he got it done, mate. How impressive was that for Mosiman. Obviously, nearly 3 years since his last podium, mate. So cool,
Mm.
all that passion, dedication, hard work paying off for him, and he almost was going to give it up, wasn't he, with all those brutal injuries, mate? So awesome for him and his family, isn't it?
Oh man, it's unreal. Yeah, like you said, and they talked about it on the broadcast. He had a retirement party last year because he thought it was going to be done. That he was going to retire because the poor dude's just had so many injuries over the years and that, and then I've known I've seen him he's always had the speed to be a contender, but yeah, just injuries have just held him back a lot. So it was really cool to see him get up on the box on the weekend. Super proud of the dude, especially after what he's come back from and all the injuries over the years. Yeah, I'm just stoked for him, eh? It's good to see, and hopefully he can just get more and more confidence from that, and just keep on progressing. It's awesome to see.
Yeah, mate, and obviously joining him on the podium there was shock as well. A lot of hard work and effort, a lot of tough days for him as well, ups and downs of the sport. So cool to see Shock and that Club MX squad getting some great results, mate, because, they work hard. They put together a really impressive program to battle out with these factory teams, don't they?
Oh man, yeah, they have. Yeah, they've been putting in a lot of work over the years. They've been progressing that team as well, and yeah, just Cody Shock as well. Just coming being a complete unknown, coming in as a full blown privateer, and then just slowly just built it, just built momentum and built momentum, and now he's in there. Now he's in there running up front with these guys, and salvaging and getting his first podium. That was really cool to see because he's another guy that's been injured a bit over the years and then has gone the long way. Starting as a full blown privateer, doing his own thing, and then just getting on a couple smaller teams, and then now ending up with Club MX, and now they get a podium with him. It was really cool to see.
Yeah, mate, absolutely. Obviously, 3 Yamahas on the podium. Degan was on the top step, mate. Obviously, didn't get the best starts, but he was just a cut above that weekend, wasn't he, mate? So impressive, making up time left, right, and centre. And obviously, he mentioned he'd gone away from the Christian Craig program and onto the one with the usual style with Swanee and the boys, and just testing yourself every day in that sort of environment to always sort of, challenge yourself against your teammates, really. So he likes that sort of to be the alpha, to put a flex on people. So that seems to suit him well, mate. And he put in a pretty impressive ride, didn't he?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, especially I mean, both races he basically come from outside. Oh well, the first one he went down came from 14th to first, and then the second one was pretty much just the same. He was just on another level. And it's scary for the rest of the guys because he's definitely looking like how he was at the end of last year, where he was just dominating in the playoffs. And then so it looks like he's getting back to form after a so couple of rounds. But it's going to be interesting now. And then with Beaumare having a rough weekend. I heard he actually, because I seen his crash in practice, and then I seen him racing, and I was just like, man, something's got to be wrong here, because he is just not making his way up, he just does not look as fluent as how he has in the last couple of weeks. But then I found out, he partially dislocated his shoulder in that crash in practice. Yeah, which is definitely that's tough to overcome as well. I've had a couple of shoulder reconstructions and done what he's done, and it's hard. It's tough to ride with. It's probably good that the brakes come at the right time. So hopefully he can rehab it and get it strong, because it's weird because it'll feel okay, but it just feels like your shoulder feels really loose. So you just ride, and especially on Supercross, it's just in the back of your mind. You just thinking, God, I hope this thing doesn't come out. I hope it doesn't come out through the whoops, and then I've just got a limp arm and I've got to hang on with one. So yeah, that's just like that's playing on the back of your mind the whole time. So yeah, you're just not thinking, and yeah, so yeah, I mean, so coming to find out what he was dealing with, like definitely a like good weekend to salvage some points. Like he didn't lose a crazy amount, but yeah, hopefully he can rehab the shoulder and he's back to form because he was on an absolute tear. And then like at Glendale, like he threw two races away basically. So and like he was just looking so confident on the bike. So hopefully we see him back to 100%, and then yeah, and then hopefully have him back in the mix as well.
Yeah, it was a bit of a lost opportunity, those ones in Glendale you mentioned there. And yeah,
Yeah.
real bummer getting that injury, mate. So hopefully, he's 6 points back now. He's relinquished the red plate to Degan. And, really sad that obviously Jordan Smith had that crash when he was leading because he's kind of out of contention, mate. He's a fair way back now. So obviously Shimoda's even overtaken him. And Cole Davies is in third, so he had another pretty impressive round. Obviously winning that third moto. The kid's a character, isn't he, mate? He had the Monster Energy sombrero on pre-race doing that
Yeah.
interview. So he's another one that's been great for the sport in terms of the, having a laugh and the riding as well, mate. It's absolutely elite.
Yeah, oh, it's awesome. Yeah, and like, yeah, he was fastest qualifier by like 7/10 of a second, which that's like an eternity on a Supercross track. Like that's unreal. And then, yeah, unfortunately for him, he had two rough first races, which set him way back. But then, yeah, he was able to rebound and get a win in the last one, and a like pretty dominating win in the last race. So yeah, he's going into the break with a bit of confidence. I know he would have loved to have had a win on that one, but you know what? I reckon that's just going to motivate him even more. And like, yeah, just the way he's like come out of the gates this year, like he just looks unreal. So nah, it's good to see. And then yeah, going on to Jordan, I mean that's just a major bummer. Like just not only for him but for the championship, he was right there in the mix. Got Triumph's first win a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, I mean that was a gnarly one to watch because yeah, just that sudden stop when it happens, like it just takes the breath out of you. And like from what I hear, he's going to be okay, but yeah, that was a tough hit. And yeah, it just sucks to see him go out, especially like when he's like just had this resurgence with Triumph and like he's in the championship hunt. Yeah, it's tough to see. So yeah, hopefully we see him back at some point soon, and hopefully he doesn't lose too much over the break with the injury.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how those showdowns play out. It might be a bit of a level if some of these guys can get back into the series in their respective coasts, and just really bank those points. And, Shimoda might be one of them too, mate, to wrap up the 250s. Obviously, Ben Griffiths and him had the bike looking absolutely dialed, mate. Shimoda made some good strides, even though he's obviously still not 100% with that hand injury, mate. But, yeah, it could be a good late run for Joe, maybe, mate.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, I was hoping he was going to win that first main event when he had the lead because I was just thinking, this would be so good. He's had a couple of weeks off. The hand's probably healed up a little bit. It wouldn't be at 100% for sure, but the first couple of laps in that one, he looked good. Just was flowing, got into the lead quick, and then unfortunately he went down, and then it kind of just snowballed from there a little bit. So yeah, it's good to see him back and like looking a bit healthier too. So I mean, to be riding with that's just gnarly, man. Like I couldn't imagine what it's like to ride with two broken fingers. So hats off to him for that. And like, yeah, hopefully he can just stay in there. Who knows? Something might happen to the other guys ahead of him. Like you're never out of it until like the points say so. So now just got to keep plugging away, and like now they got a bit of a break now, so I'll be eager to see him at I'm not when's their next round, the West Coast guys. That's not for a couple of weeks now, I don't think.
Is there a showdown at Indy? Let me just check.
Oh, that's right, showdowns. Oh, so he's not
Yeah,
going to have much time off at all.
probably not. We got, East-West showdown at Indy.
Oh,
So on the
jeez.
9th of March.
Oh, jeez. So yeah, he's only got a week to heal it up a little more. Oh man, that is gonna be brutal. God. Because usually it was like you do your first couple West Coast rounds and then you'd have a couple weeks off. And then like you're able to go, oh shit, okay, now I can let this thing heal up and I can get back to 100%. But man, that thing is just going to be mangled for weeks at this point.
Yeah, it's a funny schedule, mate. They go Daytona, Indianapolis for the showdown, have a week off, which will probably be pretty well
Oh
received by
yeah.
everyone, and then Birmingham, Seattle, Foxborough as well, and then another showdown at Philadelphia. Then they finish with a
Oh
showdown at Salt Lake City as the last round, so there'll definitely be some points on offer, isn't there?
oh wow, man, these guys man. It seems like the West Coast guys have pretty much nearly raced every weekend.
Yeah, they're
Because
getting into reps.
there was only like they had like 2 weeks off for Tampa and Indy.
Mm.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, man, it feels like these guys just haven't like taken any time off. East Coast guys have been like, far, they got like an extra couple of weeks up their sleeve.
Yeah, that'll be good to see him back in action this weekend, mate. It should be some great racing,
Yeah,
and
it'll be
obviously any.
interesting. Yeah, it'll be interesting with Kitchen like coming off a win and having a little more time to prepare. I'm sure Anstey's going to be good. RJ will be in the mix. Hopefully, RJ can minimize the mistakes and get a win and get himself in the hunt after having a rough first round. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I would have put my money on RJ for the win in Daytona. I reckon that'll be my pick for that one.
Yeah, mate, I was going to ask you for your picks, top threes in each class. What do we got?
Yeah,
RJ.
I reckon I'll go. I think I'll go Kenny for the win in 450, and then Webb, Sexton. Yeah, 250s. I'll go RJ, Anstey, Kitchen.
Yeah, solid picks, mate. Solid picks. Should be a
Mm.
good one, mate. And I guess last one, obviously, any final thoughts ahead of Daytona, keys to success, and what's the week looking like ahead for you, mate? Still brutal, no doubt.
Oh man, yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm gonna have my work cut out for me. Luckily, it's Thursday. I've got Friday tomorrow. We got the company barbecue breakfast tomorrow morning, which I'm absolutely stoked for. So yeah, no, it's happy days. So it should be a shortened day tomorrow. Hopefully I don't get a spanner thrown in the works in me day on that one. But yeah, no, it'll be. We've actually finally had some good weather at the moment too, because I haven't played golf for like a month now. Like we haven't gone out and played golf at all. It's just been too wet on the on the weekends. Yeah. So, but it's been sunny all week this week. So, fingers crossed, I'll be getting back out on the links this Sunday.
Mate, it's all shaping up nicely to have a good end of the weekend, mate. And yeah, thanks again for joining us. Been another ripper chat. And obviously, thanks to the sponsors in Fly Racing, 24MX, Dirt Store, and Fuchs Silkaline for all their incredible support. As without them, it doesn't be possible. All right, thanks again for taking the time, mate. Always great to catch up, and we'll speak again next week.
Sounds good, mate.
No worries, mate. Have a good one.